Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hyperloops Shots Fired podcast. I am Bobby Sapphire, and I am here with my two teammates. First up is Honestly Sarcastic. What's up, Joe?
Hello, hello, hello.
And then I'm also here with the Shirtless Wonder, NJ Cuenca, about to be body shamed. How you feeling, Nick?
I'm good. I'm feeling sexy, and I know it. So that's good.
I was gonna clip my chest hair today, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I need to bring it. I need to bring it so I can like share with Cuenca in the chesticle hair. So I'm proud of you, man, and all the body shamers out there that are gonna post on YouTube. I had to stop watching because NJ Cuenca needs to put on a shirt. Can get fucked. And that's the first shot fired today to all the body shamers that are making NJ Cuenca feel bad about themselves. And whoever in the Twitch chat world said I need to shave my shoulders. Fuck you too.
If anyone brings me a Gen Con some glitter, I'll put it on my chest hair. So I'll walk around.
We will be, Cuenca and I, are you going to rock the Hyperloops tank top for day two? I mean, for day one. For day one, I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gots to.
You gotta have the deodorant though.
Yeah,
You
dude.
got to have extra deodorant.
Yeah. We're metropolitan men of the city. We live a metropolitan lifestyle. We odorize and deodorize. Don't you worry about us.
I'll take a shower before Gen Con.
I'll pack deodorant in my go bag for like the con, and we'll just spray up whenever we need to. I'll get some Axe, and we can axe out like we're about to go to the club.
Like the most hated people there will just like be a wave of axe.
Yeah, and like between every round, we'll just sit there spraying each other in front of everybody. Oh God, I'm the only one laughing. That's rough. Okay.
Oh, no,
All right. So we're here to talk about Gen Con, and Gen Con is just a couple days away. We leave Wednesday afternoon. We get in Wednesday evening at 6, and then day one is Thursday morning. So this is right on us. We don't really have an agenda. We haven't had we've all been testing, sort of separately, getting some games together when we can, but we all live different schedules with different lives, so it's hard to convene. And what we decided to do was just record this session, sort of like an in-team session, talking about decks, what we feel are going to be there, what we feel we're going to play, and things like that. So I guess we'll start with Cuenca, because you've been pretty heavy on Afra. You took it to a store champ. You've been playing it a lot on TTS. So what are you thinking in terms of Afra right now?
Well, I really think that BT and 000 are both like excellent. Like I also do like the fire droid, the Hailfire, tank droid tank. And he's I found that like losing the role is pretty brutal because like you do have the tank. You want to play him on turn 2. Otherwise, he does cost 3, and that die's still pretty good for 3. But like you'd rather just play like you'd rather play a 000 and a BT and Hailfire. That's just ends up being better.
Yeah, they end up doing more damage. I mean, you were smoking me. You were smoking like a 3-wide deck with it. Just like that one game, you got BT and 000 out round 1, and that was just dirty. But even if you follow that up with Hailfire, playing Hailfire for 2 is gross.
You have to get the battlefield. So like if you draw it on like the first turn, that's good. But then like you just take so many actions that you're almost never claiming on like round 2.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But even, I mean, yeah, I guess the potential's there, but I don't know. It's still nice.
Playing that sort of the calling in favors. So like one of the plays that's like pretty sweet is if you do win the roll, then you play Hailfire and then you play like either BT or 000.
Sorry, you're kind of cutting out a little bit. Did you say Delve?
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, you're just kind of cutting out a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Joe? What do you think of the whole Afra thing?
I thought he said cast like some 3-cost spell after casting like a BT or a 000.
He's
But calling
saying
favors will only reduce by 1 at that point, so I was just kind of lost.
Oh, if you cast if you cast mobilize,
Cast mobilize first.
it's the first.
Got you. Okay, there we go. I was like, I'm missing something. I don't know. I think he's going like way off the deep end with like calling in favors type level shit. But that just might be like my overall like disdain for that card, where I think like the other, not more generic, but like Elite Afra plus a Sienna and like a Guavian might just do better because you have the access to all your damage there. You have access to like the resource ramping. You have like a bunch of different options you can pop for shield. So like I think something just more concrete like that might just be better. Plus you get the extra health for like your pinging and whatnot. And I don't know, in my mind that just makes much more sense. Than some of the deep end I feel like he's been going off with like delves and random shit. But like, are you running planetary?
Yeah. If you play delve, well, so you play planetary. The thing is that like planetary is gross, and then the drop off from there from the big things is kind of big.
Yeah. So like, pretty much Hailfire, planetary. Are you running the Droid Commando?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, was that a yes or no on Droid
I think
Commando?
he said no.
Okay.
I know.
So like, I don't know what your other big thing is, like what Sonic cannons or something. So I'd assume you maybe have like 6 big targets, so that you don't really feel bad. You have a draw engine, so like I think there's stuff there going for it, but I think you just maybe going off the deep end trying to mix too many things, and like you kind of just gotta like narrow it down a bit to what you're winning with. Arkin said he was doing good with Sienna, Guavian, Elite Afra. I don't know if he said he won or he got second, but he said he delved planetary a lot. And like the Hailfires and whatnot, and like it was just a smooth ride. So you could hit him up if anything. He's from he's one of the French Canadian guys. So like the times where I was always talking about like Team French Canadian. That's that group. Felipe was the one who beat me twice at PAX East. So there's definitely merit there.
Yeah, I think one of the like I've been doing the calling in favors, so I've tried other things with in that. So like not just calling in favors, you know, a 4 like a 3 wide just regular villains. I do want to try like Snoke together. I haven't done that yet. I need to do that in some kind of capacity because you could do like Battle Droid, Elite Snoke, Afra, and I don't know.
Yeah, that won Store Championship in Arizona yesterday.
Well, there you go. That might be the answer for me. I want to try that. I mean, I know you guys have been working on a lot of great decks, and they've been doing well. And man, I'm just so overwhelmed. There's just so many things to try, and I just think that like, are like that's sort of like a big thing in the metagame, right? Like you got to be able to like beat the cheaty decks that like just cheat and damage, and you can't stop that. So
yeah, I mean
time.
that's definitely one of the pillars you've got to figure out. It's like sort of always been a thing. It's just like how do you deal with the action cheat that's out there. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. Like I think Joe and we talked about that Snoke Afra issue. It's just like, is the 2 Snoke dice worth it? Like if when you only have 2 other dice to Snoke, when one of the other character dies, your build like Snoke's ability goes way down. And I said like, well, you're kind of bringing him for his focus, and that's why he's there, because he's the cheapest way to get those focuses for the villain side.
For the most part, yeah. Like my main concern was just like, all right, if the Afra die gets eaten, that Battle Droid die, like while it did something, it wasn't like overwhelming in my mind. And he's relatively quick to die, so like you would have to be doing like a bunch of good stuff, but like BTs for 1 and 000s for 1 are good. Hailfire for 3 is good. It's just like you have that one resource side to really super ramp off of, and they're gonna be pretty much on the lookout for it. And like, do we have any more Afra stuff? Because if not, I can levy straight into Snoke, because that's what I've been trying to play with recently.
One quick thing was Klaus wants to talk about Sienna Afra Snoke. 1 die everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Lawler also did that. I think
Yeah.
you guys are nuts, but
Three dice seems tough in a 5 dice world. Like in a 5 dice world, and like vehicles are shitting out 2 and 3 vehicles at a time, and you're starting with 3 dice, and all of a sudden it's like 7 dice to 4 real quick.
So far behind them.
Yeah. I'm all for getting Sienna in there somehow because like that's the dream, right? Just get 2 resource sides. Like that's got to be usable. I just don't know the best way to do that. Like I don't know the math, but like 1 die Snoke. I think I tried this first, but that's right. And so it is a decent segue to what Joe's doing because I started with 1 die Snoke, 2 dice Sienna, and then Guavian, and then Joe was like, just use Bala because Bala has a focus. Which he was totally right. Like that was way better. But then I was just trying to find, a better way to do it, and I ended up with Bazine, Faust, because I loved like the idea of Snoking the Faust die for 4 damage, and Snoke, and that being like a really solid 5 dice deck because 5 dice is just the jam, and that's sort of where you landed, and I guess that's where you want to pick up, Joe.
well, yeah. So like I took your deck, or I took the team, and I was like, all right, well, let's go examine it because like Snoke's just really strong. And like the theory there is you can harass your opponent, like threaten to take all the stuff with the disrupt. You can do like the discard stuff. So I was like, all right, let's go do this. I'll go to the store champ because I already won one, and I'll just play it. So I did it completely based on theory. Went in, played, matched up with Nick. I scooped before the last round, or before the final turn, just because I was just like, I don't need to win here. So scooped to push forward. And just like played more people, trying to get a better understanding from the deck. And like, I think the deck might have one of the most explosive round ones, without having like the whole action sheet thing going. But after round 1, oh my god, it's like the worst deck I've ever seen. There's nowhere to go but down, just straight up, just down. And like, so because Bazine will come out, and Bazine will pretty much come out like a Hondo, and almost no one pays Hondo round 1, so you're just like, boom, take 3. Yeah, take 3 over here, whatever's going on. Feel like the man. And then like after that, you're like, why does my die suck? And like that's more or less what's going on. So then you're like, well, I have a Foss die, and then like the Foss die gets controlled, and you're like, I didn't hit that discard I wanted to get their hands, so then I couldn't do this Foss thing, and then I couldn't like jam resources, so I couldn't like get these vehicles, and I'm playing with like Z95 and Fang Fighters, and I'm like seeing 6 blanks. Like you can ask Nick, man. Like I rolled something like 8 dice, and it was like I had 4 blanks on the initial rollouts, rolled it out, hit like 6 more, pitched another card, re-rolled them, hit like 3 more. Like if he had Feel Your Angers like on tap, he would have just murdered my entire board.
Yeah, and I get that a little bit. When I played it, I didn't have that issue. Like I wasn't married to the Bazine special, and I wasn't even like super intent on making sure I hit it. If I was discarding and getting resources and stuff. But I don't know, maybe I was just getting lucky having early ramp games. But I didn't really feel in any time I played it that my damage was dropping off too heavily, but I was trying to get, those DH-17s down and, a vehicle down fast and really trying to ramp.
Well, like that's my thing. The thing is that I'm attempting to ramp, and I'm going to smash my first special and use. So like for the most part, I'm trying to go like crack a 3 on the resource, special the guy for 3, Foss the guy for 2, and play like an upgrade. I mean a vehicle. So like the thing is like if you can Philp somebody, or they just like go completely afraid of like the discard, you could end up with a round 1 where you like special for 3, you have the Foss, and you can go 2 or 4 depending on what else you want to do, and then do like a Z95 or a Fang Fighter focused for 3 more, and like 10 a guy round 1. I've been doing it pretty consistently. Or like the opponent just their game plan got like completely blown out by like discards or whatever, and so like it's had phenomenal round 1s. It's just the pickup after that's been like dead in the water because Bazine's no longer hitting for 3s on that person. If you did any sort of indirect, they're gonna put 1 on somebody else so Bazine doesn't hit him for 3. Snoke is probably taking like 5 last round, maybe 6. So like as soon as Snoke dies, like the damage just caps off because so much re-rolling you have to do, and like your engine's gone now. So like it's trying to make that round 2 much smoother for me. But like I'm pretty sure the start of every damage starting with the special puts you in like this huge way ahead position. So I'm like trying to build on it and focus on it, and that's kind of where I'm at with that.
You didn't like the free for all thing? Because if you're 10ing someone round 1, you just have to do a little damage to the other guy, and the free for all cleans shit up. Obviously, you have to go a little deeper. Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Yeah. That definitely could be an option. Because if I'm doing that and then I go into round 2 and I like hit 3 on the other person, and then I'm like free for alling for like 5 or 6, like that's definitely big enough.
That was my thinking. That was like one of the reasons why I like the deck. I mean, ever since JMag from Destiny Council really pushed that free for all card as being huge in his deck. Like even for the last week, like I've been playing a bunch of his deck with some changes that Reflex and I made. You know, I would say like 5 days ago, I would have told you that I was definitely playing that at Gen Con. It just took too many losses with the low health pool, the low health guys. But free for all is just such a good finisher, and you know you're already starting with 5 dice, so you keep your guys alive, get 3 or 4 upgrades out, and you know you foss something, and then just you dome them for 5 or 6.
Maybe that's where I make the adjustments. Is like run free for all, run backup muscle, run the backup muscle that does indirect, and
yeah, you could do all that. I mean, backup muscle. I think I ran backup muscle. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty positive that I did. No, I did not. Okay, I just found it. But I did have the free-for-all, and I also had the probes, which I know you didn't run, and you thought maybe about putting them back in. And maybe that just allowed me to go more all-in on, like, focusing everything my rounds 2 and 3, because I had the 2 Phillips and the 2 probes, so I was more aggressively getting their hand down, which was my plan, you know, when I built it originally.
Could be, yeah. But, like, my thing was, like, it wasn't just, like, oh, my focus got eaten. Like, it was just, like, I'm used to playing decks where I can trade my guy and then kill you off of whatever. So like when I hit a dude for like 6 to 8 round 1, and then it's like a struggle to do like 3 damage, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, and there are a lot of decks in the full, like a lot of those Kylo decks and Ray decks can like retank. They get an illusion down or a caution, and then they get Shotos and they're shielding, and it's like, oh shit. I thought I had to do 2 damage. Now I have to do like 6, 7 more.
Yeah. So like if I can find where to connect to continue on, I think is where I can go. Like right now I'm on Vader TIE Fighters, and I'm just like, oh well, I'll smash you for 6, and then I'll Vader TIE Fight the other 6.
I mean that's one way to get a big turn 2. Round 2.
This is just easier. Get on my face. So I don't know, we're gonna try that. I have Hailfires. Like I have a bunch of ridiculously expensive stuff, and I'm like, I'll get one of these and land it, and then I'll try to win off of it. But if I can figure it out, I could see myself switching to it for Gen Con. But yeah.
The Delve Bombardment package?
Nah, I don't draw enough cards for that. But I could totally run Bell. I did trail play with a Dooku Sailor, though.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that?
I thought it was really interesting because it was essentially another Snoke die. And when the deck's ramping, like, you have no problem paying 3 for another Snoke die.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this to you when we were talking on the phone yesterday. Draws you a card when you activate it. Has 2 focus sides, a 2 shield side, and a 2 resource side, and a 1 shield side. Like that die is straight up insane. It's insane. And draws you a card every round. I don't know. I think it's really good.
Nah, it's shield side, no double shield.
What are you talking about?
2 resources.
It's 2 focus, single shield, 2 resources.
I'm looking at the image on SW Destiny DB.
Oh my god!
And it has 2 shields.
I'm not looking at the picture. I'm looking at the writing with the little pop-out punch, and it has a fucking 1 shield, 1 shield.
Does anyone own one? I don't know.
No. I see the card. But yeah.
But I mean, it could be misprinted on the card.
Oh man, that'd be savage.
Yeah, I think it's really good. But the thing is, this Snoke deck is like, it's a lot of cards. This Snoke Bazine deck, it's a lot of cards. Like, there's a lot of cards we want in it to make it efficient. What do you think about it, Cuenca? Did you ever play against me with it or see it?
He played against me with it.
I played against Joe. Yeah, like he's right. The damage was a lot of damage, and yeah, it's weird because you'd think that, like, you know, if he draws friends, he can like look at their hand and get rid of the card, or if he rolls the discard, then he can just Snoke it and do a bunch of damage that way. dirty. I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's just, it strikes me as not maybe because of Bazine's dice, but I think that it does do powerful things. You have five dice, and it's a different sort of. It's a sort of like I'm trying to do that sort of same thing with Afra, but it's just, it might just be better to have an extra die instead of like ability and things that make cards cheaper. So it's trying to pair mods and stuff. So
yeah, it's interesting because the Afra engine's so good when you get BT, right? Like you take the indirect, you draw a card. BT costs 1. Like BT's got to be your sole mulligan target, right? In any Afra deck, it's like the only card you mulligan for.
I've sort of been experimenting with different things, right? So there's BT. I was also like doing Hellfire. Hellfire, like that's the upper thing, right? Do you keep it like not knowing whether or not you're going to win the roll? And
yeah, true. That's tough.
Yeah, you keep it because then you get one resource. This is assuming you don't have like battle droid bullshit. Like let's say you had 4 real dice with resource sides. You're like, well, I'll go get one resource and I'll cast a Hellfire droid.
Right. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to find if you don't get your battlefield.
But like if you have 2 dudes without resource sides, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the version. I haven't seen you play the one that isn't the battle droid one, but it makes sense. Like calling in favors is fine, but you only have it on like a select number of cards, and it's kind of hamstringing your mitigation otherwise. And if you can just like have some cheaper mitigation and not have to worry about like the endless ranks thing is cool and a little cute, but also just like a little bit powerful.
I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad. Like it seems like it's like okay. Like I was playing against Cad Snoke and I cast it and it was like it almost won me the game. Just what one action away from winning the game. It's just that's how like a lot of those games end up turning out. Like you're kind of behind. You've sort of overwhelmed them with like a bunch of powerful dice and like synergy, but this sort of moment where like they just get to go first and then you don't.
Right. Yeah. I do think that Joe's onto something with just like having 2 solid resource sides, and that's what you ran at the store champ, that you can take and make sure you hit that Hellfire droid. But I do think that Afra engine is really good. It just feels like if she were costed 1 point less, she'd be so insane.
She'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think try with Snoke in the battle droid. Like that might be good enough, just because Snoke with the focus into fixing all your other shit, and like you have your 4 dice at that point. You have your technical 5th die from Afra saving you a resource, and then you have a potential 6th die from Snoke if you Snoke like the Afra die or decide you just want +2 damage for the droid, and like make them kill him at some point. So like there could definitely be something there. I just don't like the theory behind 3 dice because you're like, oh, I got 3 dice. Well, I have Afra for 1 and Snoke, and it's like, yeah, or you could just have like a shit ton more. Like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of like taking a 3 die start deck when like you can play something with Snoke, who, like you said, his ability almost simulates a 6 die, with in a 5 dice start, and you'd be able to start double the amount of dice theoretically, like hypothetically, I guess, not theoretically.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely always worth testing, because then like who are they gonna go for? Snoke, like pretty much guaranteed. That's what everyone's going for now.
Right.
Like at some point, I'm just gonna put 2 shields on him. But like, yeah, kill my 5-star. I don't care.
Yeah. People, you almost like. I'll say this, like whenever I played it and I got the 3 discard off of Bazine on the first roll, everyone was like looked at her, like had that fire in their eye, like that bitch got to die, and it was so beautiful because it was like, yup, I'm just burning her at the stake. Like, sorry Bazine, you came to do your one thing: discard 3, deal 3 damage with your special. Au revoir. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah, now people ignore her now, but I don't know. There's lots of interesting stuff, but we should probably just go straight into like
meta.
Your deck, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything interesting to say about the meta? Like, there's a lot of crazy decks winning store championships, but these are store championships that are like 4 or 5 rounds. Some don't have top cuts. Everything's best of 1. Like, it doesn't necessarily translate into like, this is what we're going to see at Gen Con. This is going to be good at Gen Con. Like, do you guys see any sleeper decks out there that you've heard of doing well at a store champ? Like, that could actually be something to worry about in the meta? Because the meta, like, yeah, it doesn't behoove us to say, like, whatever, Afro Battle Droid Elite Snoke could win Gen Con. Because it could, right? It's about, like, how many of those are we going to face? And, like, I would say Villain Vehicle will probably face 1 to 0 at Gen Con. Do you think that's a fair assessment? I guess, like, Thrawn Snoke is a thing, so maybe, like, 1 to 2.
The only reason I would not, or like 1 to 2 is fine, but it's because, so like, pretty much all of the Snoke builds that aren't like Kylo seem to pretty, or I guess Cat as well. All the 3 wide Snoke builds are all like vehicle based.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got Piet in the Rebel Raider, you've got like all these crazy configurations we were talking about.
Thrawn
like,
Snoke.
Yeah.
So, okay, so, like, but is that going to be popular? Do we think that's going to be... I mean, Snoke is good, and Snoke is popular. I mean, everyone seems to love him. He's in just about every villain deck right now.
I'd say Thrawn Snoke would be popular. Kylo Price would be popular. Mill in one of the 3 or 4 main forms. And then fuck tons of vehicles. Just shit tons of vehicles. So, like, that's the dilemma. Like, I think there's a lot of different choices. And it's like it's doing rock paper scissors, but like we haven't had this huge event to really be like, oh, these are the actual good decks.
Yeah,
like there's just so much fluff and bullshit. Like, oh, was that did the deck that win that store champ played by the only like good player at that area?
Right. We were so lucky to be able to like look at 100-person regionals and go on like iRebel Podcast's webpage and be like, all right, this regional had an insane field. It was 100 people. They were like, all great players in the top 8, and this deck came out ahead. And like that would feed into the next week where it was like, the slow climb of like more and more like Rey Aylas that just like kept popping up. And it was like that was just sort of going into Worlds. You had to know that was going to be the most popular deck going like at Worlds, and it was. And we don't have anything even resembling that. Because while, iRebel is still doing a great job, like, aggregating all this data on all the store champs, I don't know if anyone's paying them any credence. Like, have you looked? Like, haven't either of you guys looked to, like, see what's doing well at store champs? I haven't.
Only when we have to, like, rate stuff.
Sure. Yeah. You guys usually rate those.
Oh, I was going to actually ask you guys, what do you guys think of Luke Ray, like, steps?
I think if Kylo wasn't around, I would 100% play it. I tried putting in 10 gray cards, and I was just like playing bad cards, and I went down to 8, and I was like, okay, I can deal with playing like Sound the Alarm. Like Sound the Alarm's fine in a gray card that's like gonna mix up damage, and rerolls are like stringing together damage with all the Snoke focus sides is like very cool right now. So I thought that would be good, but I just couldn't. Like even, and I know it was variants because like there were, like I had 50-50s on Kylo, like gray-blue, and he was just obviously naming blue like he should and hitting every time. I just couldn't dodge the Kylo damage, and it just built up so quick. And the mitigation is so much worse in that because you don't have Ayla. Like Ayla was so good at rolling Ayla out. She was 50% to hit, or not 50%. If you had guard, force misdirection, and her special, you could hit. You could hit 4. No, sorry. Yeah, you were 75% to be able to mitigate like a melee die, essentially, either with her special or with a force misdirection or with a guard. And Steps doesn't have that. So it just got a lot weaker at mitigating, and while Luke's die is insane, like the number of times you play against Luke and it rolls 2 shields and you're like, motherfucker, I'm taking 2 fucking damage right now. It's gross. But it just doesn't mitigate as well because you can't guard off those shields dice.
Yep. You can aggro real hard though with synchronicity.
The synchronicity play is like almost automatic. You don't even have to think about it. Like you're gonna hit your synchronicities, no problem.
Yeah, no, in that deck, that's what I'm saying. But like in the other one, sometimes you had to like times shit didn't go too well.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely didn't have that. You just had like I said, that deck like Rey Ayla. It was all about tanking, and Ayla really gave you a lot of time. Like there's so many times where I just like both her dice, like special chain, blank 2 of their dice, like get fucked. And I missed that playing Steps. Steps was really good, and Luke is insane. And Makashi training, oh my god, is so good. But yeah, it couldn't beat Kylo, even with like double Makashi training, like using it to block and then getting it for damage by moving it over. It just wasn't enough.
You're saying you don't want to play a mono blue deck?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to play a mono blue deck. It makes me sad. Because I thought Steps was real good. I think it is real good. If they like nerfed Kylo or whatever, I would just sell all my cards and keep Steps.
That's the thing about like playing like Afro. It's like some 3-character Afro deck. Like you're just gonna beat the 2-character Kylo decks because you're like 3 colors.
Mm-hmm.
Places to put their damage.
Yeah, I really like Rainbow, and I'll say this, like, for as shitty as it is that like can't play mono, like mono blue, and like I don't know if you've tried the Plo Padawans much, but I think the Plo Padawans deck is like really good. It has a couple inefficiencies, and the fact that it really struggles to get great cards in there is one of them. But yeah, I would love to do that, but I have found it interesting to like I haven't really gone Rainbow that much, other than the Bazine version of the Snoke deck, but I've been working on 2 colors, but trying to make them as 3-color I can with the grays. And I do find that aspect of deck building interesting, you know, for whatever that's worth. All right, well, I guess anything else about the meta, like specifically? All right, so I'll say this. I think like one outlier in the meta is Cad Snoke, where I don't think a lot of people respect it as like the second, like the heir of Sabine, and but I think it's really good, and it's really good against Mill, and it's really good against 2-character decks, and it's not even bad against a lot of the 3-character decks because the damage is so good and it has a lot of consistent action cheating. How much do you think we'll have to face it? Do you think people will show up with it?
Definitely. I played a couple pickup games today, and someone was on Cad Snoke earlier. So, like, there's definitely still people still running it. I don't think it's an amazing deck, but, like, it does do some pretty disgusting stuff at times.
Yeah, Jedi Geek Girl came in second at her store champ after going undefeated all the way to the finals. She said she faced Mike Spalding in the finals, and he was playing Cassian Yoda aggro, and she just, like, assumed it was Mill and mulliganed. And, you know, it's like that classic setup, like, mulliganed as if it was Mill. And then, but it was a best of 3, but I guess, like, you know, I guess she said she tilted off, and I'll let her speak for herself. I'm sure she'll talk about it on her podcast. But she told me, you know, she tilted off, and it really cost her. And because I was surprised that Cad Snoke would lose to a 20 health 2-character aggro deck. But I think the deck is good. I just if it had a way to end a turn, I'd be all over it because I think it's that good. But that's where the shortcoming from Sabine is like. Sabine, for me, was all about recurring the cards from the discard pile, not necessarily the action cheating. Like, obviously, action cheating was insane, but the fact that you could do it without having, like, you could ditch your whole hand and not have to hold guns. And with Cad, it's the opposite. You have to hold a gun, or you have to, like, YOLO a gun. You have to, like, YOLO discard your hand, hope to draw a gun. That's the worst. Sabine, you just always knew that engine was going to work 100% of the time, always.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
One second. Cuenca tested a ton against Cad Snoke today, against Reflex and Outrun. So, like, what are your thoughts on the deck? Because you took a couple L's to it, testing your Afro deck, and I'd like to get your opinion from the other side of the table.
I think I went 0-4. It's just, yeah, they just get ahead of you, and I've played against it where they roll real bad, and I don't know, like, I feel like sometimes that deck just, like, when you roll bad, you just, maybe that's just wrong. Maybe that's just, like, those, like, you don't have, like, a way to, like, it's one of those things where I felt like the cards were coming in the wrong order, and if they were coming in a better order, then I would have. But, yeah.
I hate decks like that.
I don't like it either, and generally it's okay, but once in a while it's like, yeah. Like, you know, cards like Dangerous Maneuver and stuff like that, just kind of like, those cards are like cute and synergistic, and when you draw like 0/0/0, like, they do damage and they do work, but, you know, like a synergy thing. Like, I was trying to play hard to the synergy because, you know, like, there are decks like that where if the payoff is there, like, it's worth it. Like in Magic, you play Affinity and you play a lot of really crappy cards because.
Right, you put them together. Yeah, you put them in a jar and they all do well together.
It's not. I don't know. It might be I think it might be a conceptualization thing. Like you just need to know exactly what like you're going for every game, and you mulligan aggressively for it, and the different like angles. Like, oh, do I keep 0-0-0? Do I go hard for PT? Do I keep the hailfire, knowing that like I might not win the roll? And
Right.
on top of that is like, do you want the bombardment package, or do you just want to go more fair and like do like sort of stuff? So I don't know. I've been my mad sciencing the whole time, but it's just the cheaty decks are just tough.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of Cat Snoke? Like, if I told you right now I was bringing Cat Snoke to Gen Con, what would your reaction be to me?
I wouldn't fault you for it, honestly. Like it's one of those decks. You get a lot of mileage from just knowing how to count and do math, and just
Basic arithmetic. Oh, you know how to add? Good job.
Making building a good deck. Like I think like there's something to be said for something that's kind of straightforward and just does what it does every game. And aside from like the random games where you like just completely like roll terrible, you don't draw your 4 speeds ever, and it's I wouldn't fault you for it, honestly. I'm like, after losing to it 0-4, I'm just, this deck's unbeatable, and like I should just play it.
Convert me now.
I'm just like, yeah, well, I mean, maybe I should test it out, and maybe it's just really good. I don't know. Like it's I beat it before, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe the players I played against haven't been as good, or so.
There's a lot of bad players playing Cat Snoke, but like it's the same thing when Sabine was played. There was a lot of really bad Sabine players.
Yeah.
So like it seems viable enough. I absolutely hate like, oh, my guy died, I lost the game. And like there's just a lot of fear of like poop roll, like no second chance. Sorry.
This thing, like I just like lost my hand a few times. Ooh,
Feedback.
Yeah, feedback. Yeah, I lost my hand a few times.
Yeah, that's the one thing that it does have going for it is like, oh, I rolled this discard side. Well, now you don't have a hand, so try and beat me this round without a hand. Try and have a better round than me.
So I mean, maybe if my decks are better, that won't matter as much.
Right.
It definitely seems much better when it's on Rebel War Room instead of Moisture. I mean, not Moisture, Outer Room though.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday. Is like the only other consideration I would make would be Frozen Wastes. I wouldn't consider any other battlefield.
That's fair. I think just Rebel War Room's too strong because you like force them to answer this damn shitty 3 for a resource die.
Yeah, especially like X8. You're just like, got one resource left. YOLO. You gonna stop me?
Yep.
And then if they claim and paying that resource saved you 5 or 6 damage, well then that's like, you basically dark side. You villain easy pick them.
Hyperspace jump.
Yeah, whatever.
I retreat.
I retreat. You get the claim. My 1 mana retreat. Turn my X8 die. Yeah, it's definitely in the consideration. I'll say this: if Mike Rudin didn't win a store champ with solo Sabine just now, I would not. I would have already taken apart I would be taking apart my Sabine deck while we were recording. But the fact that he just won the solo Sabine deck, the store champ with solo Sabine, I'm gonna have to hit him up and see if he can tell me if I should take that to Gen Con or not, because I think he'd be honest with me.
I think you should take Cat Snoke before you ever consider solo Sabine.
But what about the memes?
The memes would be your dreams,
the memes would become my dreams.
But I don't know, man. Like Cat Snoke just has much more going for it, and it's not 11 health; it's 12 health and 11 health.
Yeah, it's 12 and 11, but also second chance goes a long way. Second chance, so good. Tenacity, also good. But all right, I digress. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that's Mill. We haven't even mentioned Mill yet. Mill's what I've been predominantly testing, like Worlds. Went into Worlds testing almost all Mill, and I've been testing a shitload of Mill this week. 2 wide, 3 wide, hyperspace jumps, no jumps, rebels, no rebels, bartering, no bartering. I don't know. You guys have both played against Mill. Like, Joe, you got a bunch of reps against Mill today. What do you think?
Mill's my enemy. What are you talking about? This is like This is that person that like crossed your fucking path wrong when you were like 4. You like hate them for your entire life.
Did you get milled
Doesn't
out in
matter-
like your first ever Magic draft, and you were like, "Fuck Millstone"?
Because like I always play like this weird pile that like does whatever, and I'm just normally speaking kind of weak to mill. So like I don't get out of my hand, stay away from my deck, just throw damage on my dude like a normal person, because that's what I'm accounting for. And like I don't know, I don't cope with mill well. Like I do what I can, but like fuck, get out of here.
Okay, well, all right. Constructively talking about it as though I've been playtesting it a lot. I do you like you were beating a bunch of people with it the last couple days, or maybe it was just the last 24 hours, and then we played some games today, where I was in the driver's seat. Mistakes were made, but regardless, I feel like I gave you better games than the games you had gotten previously against Mill, or at least tougher matches. So what do you think about, like, if I, like, so I'll ask the same question I asked Nick. For you, if I told you I was going to play Mill at Gen Con, what are you going to say to me?
I hope you're 3 times faster than you ever thought you were. I'm taking you the time.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll change the PayPal password, and you'll never get in again.
No. I already changed it. I changed it right now.
I don't think you did, because that shit goes right to my phone if you change it.
I changed the phone too.
Yeah, right. All right, can you give me an honest podcast-worthy answer?
No, I'm dead serious. Like, it's the same issue. Like, I'm gonna be talking about Mill for the rest of my life. It's that if you can't kill fast enough, you put yourself in just a bad place for trying to win the event. Like, if we go to top cuts, and top cuts are an hour and a half, you've lost 5 minutes per game. Plus, you have like all the shuffle time in between now, and like the packing up between games. So like it's back to you have to 2-0 people in top cuts, best of 3s, and like I think we're going top 32 if I'm not mistaken, best of 3s. So what are you looking at if that's happening? Like how, like it only takes one time at that point for you to be out. And so like if you're not 2-0ing, it's like that's fine, but you're gonna have to play relatively quickly, and any opponent that you're playing against, if they're in their right mind, they should slow down a smidgen. Like, I'm not saying cheat level slow down, but they're playing against Mill, so every decision already takes a little bit longer to make sure they don't make a mistake, because it only takes one mistake to have been short 3 damage to get that kill at the end. So the little bit of extra time is just going to go like so much further into the games, whereas like then you also have like the brain power throughout the entire event. Like in general, I just tend to stay away from it. But they do currently have enough power because both Yoda and Cassian are essentially each have a die that's worth about 1.5 value. So like it's probably the craziest 4-die deck that probably really treats itself like it's 6 dice. Like Palpatine's dice wish he was that good. Because like they're more powered up than Palpatine's die. And like it's really hard to go wrong there. It's just like, whether did you just die randomly? Like, did you not get a hand with removal and then, die? Did you like cast your removal, whiffed, they re-rolled, and then like got you, and the game's over? But like that's why I always play 3 wide and don't like 2 character decks also. So like it's against my prerogative. I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, probably prerogative.
Yeah,
My prerogative.
There you go, Stevie. I don't know. Do you think that should be enough of a deterrent to stop me from doing it? I mean, it's been winning a lot of Sir Champs. Obviously, like time hasn't been an issue. All the people that we know have been winning Sir Championships says time hasn't been an issue.
I mean, maybe it's just fast enough where you could just take it. I mean, what is it, like a turn 4 deck? So
yeah. Do you think martyrdom is enough? Like, if a bunch of people time me out and I go rage with my big soapbox of, having a popular website, is that worth it to get the tiebreakers change?
Yeah, you ready? FFG, give us better prizes. Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Sure, but
I would be.
I terrorized Worlds with Sabine, and then Sabine got nerfed. So what do you want from me?
I feel like you should get an additional turn after.
Except you sat there in front of them beating people. Like, we sat there bashing people to hell with FN.
Right, and Jeremy's going to be at Gen Con, and if I call him over every time some bastard like you is timing me out, I think that will change things.
Play faster.
Yeah, I could.
I will play faster. I will play faster.
This is gonna be the thought. Like you have to be at the top table in someone time.
Yeah, I expect it to be you, and I expect it to sever our friendship.
That's a lie.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nick. Are you effing serious?
Are you effing serious? Yeah.
Are you effing serious?
Couldn't play it, and I just like I don't know. I could never play Mill just because I feel like it's somewhat too punishing to like sequencing, and I'm a very slow player anyway, so it's like it doesn't play to my strengths. So it's just
all right, but all right. So
aggro
time aside, like those games that we played today, like those rough games. I felt like those games were going well for me. Thoughts?
They were going well for you, but they should also go well for you because I'm playing vehicles.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like that's the thing. It was like the test to make sure you don't randomly lose to the vehicle deck. You're supposed to be like way above. Like you're supposed to crush.
But okay. So but this is the point that I tried to get you to answer originally when you went off on the time tangent, which is you were beating other people and then you played me and you didn't. So like, should I consider that like a positive matchup, an even matchup? Is that enough to say like Mike, you should play Mill because you can beat like. I guess I'm just asking for like some validation in what you saw when we played.
Yeah, but the dilemma is that's not an indication of your deck. That's an indication of my deck. So like, if you lost 2 vehicles, you can't play Mill because you're losing to the matchup you're supposed to auto win.
Right.
So like, if the games are getting real close, but you're still winning, then it's like, all right, whatever. Like that was a tough match. Like DBS is outside of Thrawn vehicles, like DBS is the next vehicle deck that can actually try to fight blow for blow against Mill. Like all the other vehicle decks like fold up. So like it was kind of that. So it was like, all right, well the games are close enough where I feel content where if that's even like a 35-65 or 40-60, where I'm like, well, I can't really hope for better because of regular Mill decks are looking at probably like a 1090 or something obscene.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's what I was saying. Like, if there's nothing to come from that. Like, if we go and we're like, all right, let's put you against Cad Snoke, and you're able to beat Cad Snoke, like, at, like, a 40-60, then it's like, you know what? You're in a good spot here because that's supposed to be your, like, oh, my God, I lose match.
Right,
You're keeping up with it, yeah. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, like, that's why it's kind of like I don't know if I could see myself playing it because, like, vehicles is the deck you're supposed to beat. But if your opponent slows down, like, now you're actually starting to look at like weaker potential there. Like when it comes to format stuff, and I forget someone explained it before. Like pretty much in life, there's like 3 things. When it comes to business, you can do things like cheaper, faster, and better, and you can pick 2 out of the 3, and you don't get all 3. So pick 2 and go with it, and that's kind of what we're looking at. We're looking at like, all right, you can either beat the aggro deck, you can beat the vehicle deck, or you can beat the Mill deck. So pick 2 out of the 3. If your deck can beat 2 out of the 3, then you're in a good spot. If you can only beat 1 out of the 3, you can't play that deck. Yep. And if you can make that third one real close at least, then you could at least take some percentage points in skill level or luck or whatever and potentially take those wins that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And that's kind of why I'm like on vehicles because I'm like, all right, well, I should beat aggro. As DBS, you're going to beat the other vehicle deck because you're fucking on Ezra. And then versus the Mill deck, you're like, you don't feel nearly as bad. But like, I've lost percentage points in the aggro match to get those better percentage points in both the vehicle and Mill match. So it's just like, there's a gamble going on. And like, I haven't seen any of your matches versus aggro decks, which could be where your like the potential dilemma is. So like, as a 3-wide, that's fine. I just know like in every testing besides versus you, I like crushed all the 3-wide decks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cuenca, any thoughts on Mill?
So I think that I wanted to get your guys' take on this. I'm really like one of the decks that I'm seriously considering is Parson Rose BTL because
LGP, long-term plan.
Yeah. Thank you.
I said it for the. I said it for the viewers. I
Yeah.
said just for the viewers.
Yeah, no. Partisan Rose BLT.
LTP.
Yeah, I know,
BLT.
I know.
Okay, no, you got me. You trolled me. As always, Quinka got me.
Yeah. Delicious.
Would
But no,
wouldn't be a podcast if Quinka didn't fucking get me. Go ahead.
no, I just think that deck might be able to break the mold a little bit. So I've heard reports that sometimes that deck can mill out the mill deck. I would like to test that to see how that goes.
Yeah, I've
If
heard
it
that
does,
too. And I just wonder if there's not a way to like sort of influence that a little bit better. I'm not sure how.
Well, I just feel like a lot of it is that you're attacking on both axes, and like one of them might win, and then like that just gives you a lot more percentage points against mill than you usually would get.
Yeah, the mill doesn't cost you anything. You just get it.
Buy for the whole turn. So like, if you can get to turn 5, you've milled like you can mill 10 cards on there, and then like that's 25. So if you might be able to mill them by like turn 4 if you're like aggressively making them discard their hand with like C3PO and stuff. So they can do the same thing to you, but you're also doing damage, so you can sort of pick your spot.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or a little bit worse against like DBS, for example, because they can steal your money. Ezra's a jerk.
Yep.
Well, like, so it's an interesting premise where that like so someone won a store champs with it, and like the way it boiled down was is if you attack the Rose, he would go and try to mill you. And if you attack the Jetta, then he would try to kill you with damage.
Right.
Because if you killed the Jetta quickly, then his mill just went down the shitter. So like, but the thing was, is I guess he ran Anakin's pod racer. And like the initial theory with the Jetta's Rose is that you couldn't kill them through the end of round 4 because you've only milled 8 cards. So then they'd have 2 left. You know, assuming they bent, went through everything in their hand, there was 20. So like it's just that like the last few cards were always going to be a struggle. You had to go to round 5. But if you include Anakin's pod racer, as long as you found it by the start of round 3 and resolved it twice, then you'll have gotten the 10 cards to attempt to go for that round 4 win. And when you include, the long-term plans on any of the discard sides, then now, okay, like you're looking at, I resolved the Anakin pod racers, discard for 3 discard or 4 discard, and I milled, whatever the last card was supposed to be from their hand or deck. So like there could be a thing there with that. I had also started thinking like, well, what if you ran like Stealthy? Because then Stealthy technically fits for both game plans. Because what was it? 2 indirect, shield, special. So like there may be a thing there if you really wanted to go like forcibly either direction based on what matchup you're playing with against the opponent.
No, I think it's interesting. I really like that deck a lot. I've won a lot with that deck, and I would have probably, if I really wanted to win the store champs, like, and I was like, I really want to win this, I probably would have played that just because I've been winning more with it than any Afro deck I've been playing.
So why aren't you playing that for like Gen Con?
That's like my like drive-by shooting or like my 2 go-to right now. Those are like the decks that I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get more reps with DBS before I played it. But Afro's my girl. I just love I just love synergy, like when I see synergy and it can do a lot of stuff. Like there could be something somewhere in a combination of cards and some type of like conceptual just higher understanding that I could maybe could show itself to me, like the Great Buddha. I don't know. Just that's what I was just trying to figure that out, but it's so far no luck.
Scale back. Go to regular stuff, then go back to crazy shit. Yeah, I think you just went way too far off the deep end.
At the store champs, I played vet First Order Stormtrooper with whatchamacallit, endless ranks. So idea being I could kill my guy off and then bring him back. So yeah. I think it's just better to play cards that kill your opponent.
Yes. When in doubt, kill him out.
Oh, maybe that's still okay, or like some combination of rainbow, so I could maybe play like, I don't know, like a Kylo Starfighter or a Dooku sailboat.
Dooku sailboat.
Dooku sailboat, OP. Anything else we should talk about? We're going on just about an hour.
It'll be, if you guys see us at Gen Con, come say hi.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I also want to say if you are considering any deck like a respectable, if you are playing steps, that's a respectable deck. Like there's a lot of respectable decks out there. It's just like what spot you want to pick in the meta. Like someone could play steps and just be like not run into Kylo, and
I mean,
like, I don't know how your matchup is against Mill. Your dice are like pretty aggressive, but I don't know.
Joe played a deck that was like basically a dog to the most played deck at Worlds, dodged it all the way to the semifinals. Like it's totally possible.
I was banking on the opponent just not knowing what was killed them. I was like, they won't know what's happening.
Yeah, but then you didn't even have to do that. You just didn't face it, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't know how many people you could talk to that didn't face stairs once in 9 rounds of Swiss.
I played against Thrawn Towson twice.
Ballin'.
Numbers.
Yeah, that's rough. I played against a bunch of Sabine. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. The idea that Nick is saying is sound. You could just dodge. You could just dodge Kylo the entire time. You could play 6 mill decks. It could happen.
Oh, especially if the deck's bad. Like, so the thing was, I thought we felt that stairs wasn't going to be good there because of like all the other shit going on. So I figured after like round 2, I'd probably dodge a lot of stairs because people would be on other decks trying to like break through the meta, or like just stairs wasn't good enough against a lot of these other options. And it seemed like that for the most part. I think there was only like 4 of them in like top 32 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
sounds right.
But then 2 of them made top 16. I was like, oh.
To Jeff winning yesterday with Ayla Kanan.
Yeah, yep. BTL Zardra. Zardra took down a store champ with that. That was pretty sweet. BTL is really good. Joe's three-wide BTL is really good. I'm surprised he didn't give that more of a run.
Yeah, it didn't got vehicles or Snoke. I ain't got time for that. Ain't got time for the melee weapons.
That's just like with ships, with vehicles, you can. It's kind of the same thing, except that you don't have to go for. Yes, it is nice that you get to like have them be cheaper, but.
Do we have to fire any shots before we go?
Yeah, I'm gonna play some Knights of Ren. Oh no, that's not this event.
Oh, it's Nova.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can still say that the Knights of Ren challenged you.
Me and Todd, Knights of Ren, throwing some money down, money match for drinks.
Grudge match.
Let's do this. Go time.
Can when he if you beat him and he owes you drinks since you don't drink, can you buy me and Nick drinks when you come home?
No, I would actually just drink. I drink.
Oh, you just drink very rarely.
Yes, it's usually so when I drink, it's normally to get shit faced. So like,
there's
a dilemma there.
Well, maybe we know what we're doing Friday night.
No.
Gin and tonic stuff. Have one after this.
I got a trilogy event on Saturday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shame.
I think Nick's in it too.
Well, I mean, I'll drink, but I'll play trilogies too. Just give me some type of.
Let's just bring Moscow Mules and a thermos to the con. That's my plan.
Isn't that what happened at the store champ the other day?
Yep.
It's like yes, it did.
Yes, it did. And if it's if me going O2 drop at Gen Con, then hanging out with Ed all day at St. Elmo's, then that's what I'll do.
Ed will be too busy playing other games.
All right.
Because Ed's a lovely fellow. He like plays all these other games, and I'm like, "What's this shit?" And it's like his response is almost, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Let's go learn it.
He texted
like what?
He texted me the other day. I'm pretty excited to see him. Haven't seen him in a year.
Yeah, man. We missed him for Worlds. That was sad.
Worlds and I think he was thinking about PAX Unplugged too, but didn't end up pulling it off. All right, well, that's an hour. Other shots to fire. Yeah, it'll be tough. Like, do you feel like after going 1-2 last year that there's some pressure for us to come correct again?
That'd be a fucking understatement. So, like, I think we have to top cut. I don't think we have to go 1-2 because that would obviously, like, you can't do that shit again, like, over and over forever.
No, I know. And I've been waiting for the floor to drop out from under me for a long time.
But, like, I'm going to fire an internal shot now. So, like, there's supreme pressure on us to top cut, and there's supreme pressure on Cuenca to top cut. Because, like, he's just been playing other stuff, it looks like. And he shows up, and just did some bad luck here. You know, a couple reps got missed. And you got to take it down, man. You got to go in there. You got to crush.
Yeah, I'm ready for Cuenca to get a win and fucking make everyone suck his teats that are hanging out on the stream.
He would then take the photo op at the end that we'll never get a copy of. Shirtless.
Shirtless. Just play the whole final shirtless.
Anyone from FFG ever hears this Shots Fired podcast, if you can like go back and look for the NA Champs photos.
Yeah, we've emailed you. We've emailed you a million times. I know all the loops people know Cuenca's super legit. I just want Nick to get some fucking international fame.
Nick's a fucking hobo.
Huh? I'm a hobo.
No, Nick's a hobo.
No, I told my wife I was like, yeah, I just been like stressed out, and I was like, why are you stressed out? And I was like, she just doesn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Hurdle. I mean, like, I just want to, you know, I've got to feed the vampire, you know, get some wins.
Yeah, you wanna come out. You wanna have your coming out.
Have my day, you know, and like I understand that it's like not every Saturday, not every Sunday is your day, but you know, one's coming, boys, one's coming.
For sure. And like I love our squad because like I don't have that jealousy bug that I know like a lot of Magic players have. Like if either of you guys win, or like Reflex outrun Biggie, they win, like I'm gonna be fucking psyched. Or any looper wins, I'm gonna be psyched.
Absolutely.
We gotta take over the top cut. So let's take some, not a bet, but let's go. I'm gonna go with 40% of the top 32 are members of the looper community.
40%.
40%. I'm gonna go on a limb. That's a lot. I know.
That's a lot.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take 50.
So I'm saying 13. You're at 16. How many you got, Nick? Nick's like 3.
Low.
You play Destiny.
The price is right. Like $1. $1, Drew. One looper, please.
Well, are we playing Price is Right?
No, we're not playing by Price is Right rules. Fuck out of here.
Bullseye rules closest.
I'll go 35. I'll go right in.
What? Oh, 35%. I was like
35 of the top 32 will be loopers. Busted. Is that a 4-way tiebreaker for 16th or for 32nd?
I don't know what. Hold on.
No, I'm just saying that's what it would be. If there was a 4-way tiebreaker, that would be 35 people. But all right, Nick's got 35%. Got it.
Because there's a lot of very good.
Nick went just under mine so that he could block off the back end. Fucking asshole. So he's got 11. I've got 13. You've got 16.
Sick.
I'm taking the in betweens then, because you got below and above.
All right, fine.
All right, so I got 12 through 15.
All right, sounds good. We also have the benefit of like a lot of rivals are also just in our Discord, which even though they don't participate or anything, they still exist there. So we're gonna scoop up credit for them. We're gonna hyper scoop the credit there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Lassie and Zion made the top cut. Well, technically they're loopers, so.
Right. You guys want to each pick a card for what's going to be in the winning deck at Gen Con? Because I got Maul Saber last time.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and I think if anyone has a comment on our Facebook page and tell us what card you think will be in the winning deck.
Yeah, or our YouTube channel. All right, I'm gonna go Friends in Low Places. Does it have to be a dice card?
It could be something not in like every fucking yellow deck known to man.
Easy
Like,
pickings. All right.
Friends in Low Places is fine, I think. But I don't know.
Friends is kind of cheating.
No, it's definitely cheating. It's 100% cheating. All right. I will say what is going to be in there. I'm going to say bartering.
Ooh, you went all in on the mill right there.
No, I think a lot of decks can play bartering.
I guess you went with the JMag list as well.
Yeah.
I got one. I'll say Yoda.
Yoda. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's unfair, but I guess Yoda's in less decks than bartering is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna cheat the system and say Snoke, but
Snoke is cheating.
It's also like you could have like a Yoda sort of like Yoda Hondo thing. Like who knows? Or like Yoda Mill, or like I don't know Yoda something.
no, Yoda's fine.
Shooting with Yoda.
Giant Rush Shooting does have Yoda.
Do you think
more than barter?
Do you think the winning deck will have a plot or no?
Ooh. I'm going no. No plot.
I'm gonna go no as well.
All right, I'll be the dissenter. I'll take plot.
God damn it. I'm like looking at my deck list and I'm like, is there anything besides Friends in Low Places I can pick? Oh, winning deck list got Flank.
Ooh, Flank. It's a good one.
Great.
I took all the 3-wides.
Yep. No shit. All right. We're going to call it there. Hope to see you at Gen Con. Please say what's up. We'll have Loops badges, Loops tokens, Loops, hopefully Loops mats. We have 48 hours for mats to come in. We'll see. Yeah, otherwise, just I'll be looking forward to seeing everyone. And I don't know. You guys have anything else to say?
Steak and Shake.
You can check Joe at Steak and Shake.
Just that. Just Steak and Shake.
Don't drink and fly Dooku's sailboat.
Wow, that thing's got a parachute, man. You can glide all the way down. All right, we'll see you at Gen Con. Loops out.
Deuces.